Good evening, everybody. I'm excited to be here. I'm obsessed with AI, and I think Midjourney is amazing. So I'm going to concentrate on one thing since we only have 20 minutes, and that's going to be what things that we could do in version 3 that you can't really do now. Because somebody's starting with Midjourney now, there's more coming out than can keep up with. So there's no way I would have time to go back in the past and see V3. So I'll give you a little insight into stuff I love in the past. If you want to find me on the net, Kyle Elf's my moniker on like Twitter, LinkedIn, everything, Instagram. So I stumbled on Midjourney like a year and a half ago, August, a year and a half ago. And the first few weeks it was like an addiction. Like I think I got 4 hours of sleep for the first couple of weeks. And it's also like gambling because I mean there's a bit of randomness. So it's like on the next roll my image is going to be great. On the next roll and just keep going. So I've done over 60,000 images. And I got so obsessed with it that I quit my job then and got a job at Midjourney. I'm curious here, I like to sort of like frame what I'm going to talk about. How many people have used Midjourney? How many people have not used Midjourney? Okay, and of those who've used Midjourney, have anybody used it on the web yet? Web access? No web access? Raise your hand if you used it on the web. A couple of people. Raise your hand if you've done over 1,000 images. Few people. Okay, cool. Anybody use it professionally for like marketing? Okay, cool. Okay, on the screen are 2 of my favorite images, and they're both from version 3, and I can't do these. I've not been able to do these in version 6. Version 6 is amazing, but. So, content of this presentation, I'm going to go over how a success. Monet, okay, I love painting, and I love using AI to try to create painting. I dislike the sort of plasticky default look of AI. I love creating like swaths of paint and making it look thick and textured. So version 6 of Midjourney does amazing with Monet. So I'll give some examples of that. And then, so these are artists, like Monet is one of my favorite artists. I love the color palettes. I love the texture of the paint. I love the movement. I think it's amazing. He's dead, so I'm not like ripping him off, but we can talk about that later. Another artist I love is John William Waterhouse. And he has a limited portfolio. He was pre-Raphaelite. And all my life, since I was like a teenager, I always wanted more paintings. And so it blew my mind when I could like create what looked like more Waterhouse paintings, but it's a V3, not V6. And the last example I'm going to talk about is like black and white fashion photography. I love the photography of like Ellen von Unsworth, like in the Guess jeans back in the 90s. And I can't really do that in V6, but he can do it in V3. So while I'm here, I'm on my soapbox. I'm just going to say a few things. There's all these arguments about art, AI. People get really upset. If somebody's breathing, we're creating. Art is creation. Now, you can call yourself an artist or not, but art's creation. Inspire, breathe in. If I'm inspiring somebody else. I'm encouraging them to create something. I'm filling it with the urge to create. Aspire, I'm giving myself the urge to create through breathing. So just like, and also like, yeah, nature is art. So you might think, oh, it takes a human. No, nature is art. It's creation. An example is like Marcel Duchamp. He had a thing called art trouvé. Like I'm walking around a forest. I see a cool like lightning strike on a tree trunk or whatever, a piece of wood, and I take it home and I frame it on the wall. Nature created it, but I'm the artist. I curated it. With AI happening, the onslaught of absolutely amazing, aesthetically pleasing images and colors is going to be overwhelming. So what matters is not so much the creation now as curation. What do you want to bring to the world? When there's an onslaught, how can you help another person find the things that are inspiring? So it's more about curation now. Anyway, so let's go into examples. So I love Monet. Next few slides are like paintings I love. So many of water lilies. I love the craziness of these. His paintings of Venice are insane. Like the electricity of the color palette is amazing. I love the fog over like the Charing Cross Bridge in London. And I love Antibes. I actually used to work in the south of France, and I would go out to this point because I was so inspired by his paintings and look at it. So when I first got Midjourney, I was like, oh, let's go try to do Monet. He's like one of my favorite artists. Now this is my first attempt. This is like a year and a half ago or something. So in Midjourney, main access is through Discord, although we'll do some demos. You can also do this with web now. There's a command that says /imagine in Discord. And if you have like the Midjourney bot connected, it'll create an image based on what text you type. So I typed style of Monet, hyper realistic. And this is for what it gave me, not at all what I wanted. So also, since version 3, you can give Midjourney a image to work with. Like, this is the kind of thing I want to do. So I gave it an image of like London, Tower of London in the fog. And this is version 3. Not at all what I'm looking for. It doesn't look like a painting. It doesn't look like anything. So I gave it Antibes. And then it looks like some sort of naive school of painting. And anyway, it's nothing at all what I wanted. And here's the prompt: painting a view of Antibes from the Plateau of Notre Dame by Claude Monet. And then I gave it a link to the painting. I had some success using other things. Like there's another artist named Joaquim Sorolla. So instead of saying Monet, I said Sorolla. I started to get what I wanted. So just manipulating it in other ways. But let's jump to V6. V6 blows my mind. So V6 also has, every version has new commands. So since V3, we could give it what we call a seed image. I want to make an image like this seed image. In version 6, there's a thing called style ref or --f ref. And it says, I can give it an image I like, do it like this image, but the references, do it in this style. So like if I have really thick paint or impasto, whatever, do it in that style, do it with this color palette. So here I've given it the image on the left as the seed image on the right as the style. And then there's also image weight, which means the default image weight. So if I take a seed image, it's like default weight is 1. But if I really, really want to go towards that, looking like that image, I can give it up to 2. 2 is the maximum. And I don't know about you, but so the 2 little photos are the images I worked with, and then Midjourney created the one in the middle. So let's just go try it in Midjourney. But I think it's absolutely amazing. So here what I do, I drag and drop the paintings. So here I've drag and dropped the paintings into Discord. And then if I right click on them, I can get copy link. And then when I do a prompt, I say, well, then I type, it's missing it here, but I'll do it by, let's just do it by hand. Okay, /imagine. And it has type ahead, so I just typed ahead. I'm going to drop in, so go up here, say copy link. That's going to be my seed image. And then I have my prompt. Let's see. Monet painting at Waterloo Bridge in London, fog filter. AR21. So this is AR is basically aspect ratio. So I want it twice as wide as it is tall. So that's going to be my prompt. And then I'm going to do this other thing, which is sref, style. I want the image to be in the style of the following image. So I can take that second painting, this one here. So I want this color palette. It's got these yellows and greens. So I copy the link, dump it in. And is there one other thing I want to do? So image weight. So IW2, I wanted to put more emphasis on the first image, like layout format, image weight 2, and then return. So now it's going to generate it. I did a couple before. So this is one I did before, so we can see it. It might take a minute. So it gives out 4 examples. Now, when I see 4 examples, I pick one of them. I'm going to upscale it. So like this bottom right, actually bottom left. I like that light white up here. Okay, so then they go 1, 2, top left, 1, top right, 2, bottom row, 3, 4. So I say U means upscale. So I click on U3 and it'll upscale it. So here's the upscale. And then we can, I don't know how far I want to go into this, but we can keep manipulating it. So there's all these options here. So upscale, so right now, I don't know what it is, with it probably like 1024 by 1024. If I upscale it, probably 2K by 2K or 4K by 4K. If you want to use it like in images or posters, you can upscale it. They have you very subtle and strong. Subtle is like actually like almost everything there, but maybe I want to change a little bit of a color or something. So I click on it. It gives me the exact same prompt. I can blow the prompt away, but if you blow the prompt away, it's going to get confused. So I generally keep the same prompt. So say purple and violet. I want more of those colors. And then hit submit. So that's very subtle. Very strong, you can actually change the contents, like maybe get rid of the bridge or something like that. Region's sort of cool. Maybe I want a bigger sun. So here I'm going to drag my cursor over the sun. I can go down to the prompt and say big orange I wonder how many of you have seen like the painting that got the name Impressionism was a orange sunrise over, I think it was the Thames. So I'm going to say big red orange, sort of harking back to the beginning of Impressionism. Zoom out. You can zoom out and zoom, which is cool. Okay, let's see what's going on down here. So here's the one we just generated together. Wow, I love this stuff. It blows away version 3. Okay, version 6, amazing. So now I'm going to jump into version 3. What can we do in version 3 that we can't do in version 6? Okay. So here's this artist, John William Waterhouse, another one of my favorites. I think he's like 20 major paintings, and I always wanted more. So this is probably his most famous painting. It might look familiar. So that's kind of style I want to create. And this is what I ended up creating, which I think amazing, is version 3. You understand? So that's his example of a real painting, and this is Midjourney version 3. So and these are some examples from version 3. But let's go and check out what it's like to do it in version 6 and version 3. So let's just say this. So John William Waterhouse, we'll do it by default. We'll do it version 6, which is the default right now. And then I'm going to do version 3. Whoops. And so to do version 3, I do --V3. This is really cool. Midjourney has kept all the versions accessible, which is amazing, which is awesome. Okay, so I said nymphs, so that's like water nymphs. And we get these are very similar content to, I would say, John William Waterhouse is. So let's take a look at this fourth one. But for me, it's not the feel of John William Waterhouse at all. This looks like some other pre-Raphaelite, like Burne-Jones or something. I don't know how many artists are like pre-Raphaelite fans, but that's not the style I want at all. And that's version 6. So let's see what happens in version 3. So here I ran the command. And let's see when it comes out. So version 3 is actually, while this is working, version 3 is more of an onerous process, because in version 3, it'll throw out like that quad of 4 images, but they're really low quality. And then I have to pick one, I upscale it, and then I have to keep telling it to get better and better. When we went from version 3 to version 4, all those like intermediate steps are gone. You do your prompt and you get amazing output. But version 3, there's more room to sort of play around with it. So it's not coming out. Let me go back. I'll just go back and show you what I did in the past. Okay, so this is version 3. I don't know how, I mean, those are really messy. They're like really serious roughs, like really rough roughs. Like they don't look like a finished painting or anything. But what we can do is like pick one. So, here's where it's finished. They're still really rough. The faces are like garbled. But we don't stop there. So I'm going to pick one. Let's say I'm going to pick the third one, this purple one, and hit U3, which will upscale it. That should be faster than this. So I set this flag turbo, which is supposed to be 4 times as fast as the default, but also uses more of my credits. Okay, let's see. That's the problem with demos. Okay, I'm going to let that crank, and then I'll go back into the PowerPoint, and we'll come back. Okay, so John William Waterhouse, I think, is way better in version 3. And the other thing I love in version 3 is black and white photos. So I was a huge fan of like Ellen von Unsworth, but a couple other black and white photographers from the 90s I loved. That style I can't do in version 6. So here's some examples from the Guest campaign. I used to have the big books that are amazing. So this is like Claudia Schiffer. I love that photo. So I want to create that image. I want to create that feeling. So here's what I did in version 3. And I did have a blog on how to do it. This is how you did it back when version 3 was live. Now that it's not live anymore, it's a little bit different. But we can step through it. So the idea, I'll step through it here and we'll go through and do it live. But on the left, I run through a default prompt in version 3. And I get these sort of cartoony kind of naive images, the quad. I pick one of them, and when it blows it up and when it upscales it, it gets a little bit better, but still like a real rough, like charcoal sketch. It doesn't look like a photo. So then what we do is it's called remaster. So when I have on the left is I have my upscale, and then I hit on the bottom of that choice, there's a thing called remaster. When I click that, in version 6 it's different. If you hit remaster, it'll actually just go ahead and remaster. It won't let you do anything. But in version 3, you hit remaster, you could go in and change the prompt. And when I change the prompt, I can add a thing called test P. We can still do that now, and that's what we'll do. So test P takes that sort of really look like a charcoal sketch and makes it much more of a photo. So on the bottom right, there's 2 much more photo-like. Oops. And then we can upscale those and get even more photo-like. So let's just step through that. Let's see how we're doing. Okay, so here's the purple one that I blew up, and it looks like sort of so John Williams' Waterhouse paint and oil. This looks like a watercolor rough sketch. So what I'm going to do is say make variations, and it gives me the prompt. So this is the prompt I gave it. And what I'm going to do is add that magic flag, test P. And test P, I think it was called testing photographic quality or something back in version 3. But it'll take this and it'll make it actually more like a John Williams oil paint. So I added the test P, and let's go back and we'll do the black and white example. So here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to mix some people. So I'm going to say black and white fashion photo. Editorial is a good one if you want to get that crisp sort of like Vogue kind of style of photos. And I say mix of Emma Watson, Ana de Armas, Cara Delevingne. And then I add the word latex, so just going to give it a bit of like edginess to it. So I kick that off. And we're going to do version. Okay, let's do it in version 6. Version 6 will get out this high quality stuff, but it's too polished. It's not what I want. I want sort of like gritty 90s fashion photos. Let's go back to Waterhouse. How are we doing here? It's still cranking away. Okay, so this is version 6. Now these are really polished, but this is not 90s fashion photography. Not what I wanted. They're cool, but I want a little bit more grittiness. So that's what I'm going to use version 3 for. So I'll do the same prompt. And I'm going to add minus V3. Okay, let's go back to Waterhouse. Okay, so now we're getting better. So we had this, here's the rough sort of water-looking sketch. And then here I said minus test P. And we're getting closer. Still, it looks like a cross between oils and waters now. So I'm going to go upscale one of them. I like this one on the right a little bit better. Let's see how we're doing this. Okay, I'm going to let those crank out. There's one other thing I want to demo. So come let those crank. And then the final thing I want to demo before we have questions is this thing I think is really cool. So this is a long prompt, but I just throw it out as an example and we can play with it. I have 2 parts. So the top is like what I want the content to be. So I say a nymph in roses, like a nymph in a rose garden or something. And what I have behind it is sort of like a bouillabaisse or like a vegetable stock. I throw in a bunch of artists that are sort of related to me, and they create like a soup. That when I drop, like I don't know if you like in Indian cuisine, this is what I learned after working in an Indian restaurant. The main base is onions, garlic, and ginger, and it's cooked down to a test, like no taste. But when I drop a little bit of spice in it, that spice just blossoms. So for me, this is like that base has not much flavor. It's just gobbledygook, a bunch of artists. But when I have that as a base and I throw in what I want, then I get these cool things out of it. So let's just try messing around with that. Whoops. So I'm just going to take this whole thing, and then we can play with it. Copy. And let's open up a new channel. So I've got my sort of idea and nymph and roses, and then I have sort of the bouillabaisse or whatever you want to call it back here. Let's do it. Okay, I'm going to do it version 6 and version 3. I had more success in version 3, but it works. I think it works pretty well in version 6. Okay, the black and white photography made it a step farther. Okay, so this is what it looks like in version 3 before I do anything. I mean, basically sort of crap. I mean, like this is all mangled and that's mangled. But what we're going to do, we're going to iterate. So I'm going to pick one of them. I don't remember that interesting. I'm going to pick the first one. It's most straightforward. So U1 is going to upscale it. Wow, that was quick. So this is version 6. Yeah, I don't like that as much. We'll do it version 3. So that's pretty cool. So that's the Nymph and Roses with all those artists. That looked to me like AI. It looks very generic, plasticky. So the version 3 is still cranking. We'll see with version 3, it's going to be more artistic, more oil painty. Okay, so it hasn't finished. So it's blowing it up. They still aren't cranking. It looks to me like they put V3 on some machines. They have a huge pool of machines, and certain machines get certain kind of jobs. I think V3 got put off on the sideline, but it still works. That's all that matters. I guess these are my final demos, so we can demo take questions too while I wait. It's trial and error. Yeah, I've done 60,000 images, so, and I share them. I'm happy to share them. I think the culture has changed. Like a year ago, some people were really wacko, like acting like their prompts are copyright. It's complete BS. I mean, everything you do, unless you pay extra money, is public on Midjourney. You can go in and see everybody's prompts unless they pay some extra money. So whatever, yeah. And then I just get on user groups, what are like Discord channels. Oh my God, if on Discord for Midjourney, there's so much activity. There's tons of channels, tons of people talking about stuff. There's I think demos multiple times a week with famous artists who show how they use Midjourney and stuff. There's so much out there. Me, I've done a few blog posts, but they haven't gotten a whole lot of traction, so I haven't put a whole lot of energy into it. Although I am starting to give classes. I'm going to give classes like this at Innovage. First few classes will probably be free, but like on Wednesday nights in Twin Peaks. I haven't spent much time, but I think I've touched all the major ones. But I still think, my experience is Midjourney is way ahead of everybody as far as quality goes. Now, they don't do some things I want, like Leonardo does training. I can give Leonardo a set of 10 to 20 images and it'll train, and I have a keyword and pull in whatever I had from that training set, which is like doing somebody's actual person's portrait who's not well known in Midjourney is really hard. Like if I give it a picture of myself and ask it to make a photo with me, 9 out of 10 times it's not going to look like me. Leonardo, I can give it 10 or 20 photos of me, and then I can say dash Kyle, and it'll look like me. Me, like, a royalty from Europe or a beggar or whatever. It'll look like me. That's really cool. Oh, yeah. Korea's doing some far out stuff. Korea, you can paint in real time. I haven't tried this, but one of the first things I asked David, the founder of Midjourney, about was doing this. I can draw, and with some words, and it will create the image as I draw in real time. So it's really it's like painting with AI. So yeah, the other products are all cool. The image quality of Midjourney is still beyond everybody else, from my experience. It has no effect as far as I know on quality. I just did it for organization. Yeah, let's check the web interface out. Okay, before I jump into that, I just want to say I'm getting excited about this. So this looks like crap to me, right? I could draw that with charcoal in probably 20 minutes. These are getting really interesting. Like this one on the left, I don't know. The moodiness for me is crazy. Like that's really cool. Okay, so I got to blow that one up. Okay, let's go. Let's check out the web interface. Okay, midjourney.com. When I type it, I get whatever. These are like the top of what everybody else is doing. Super cool. Type create. I can create images. So like this is the one I just did. So right here, I'm going to click on it, and then I can do all the stuff to it. So say upscale. It should be upscale. Now it's going to upscale it. Very subtle. I'm going to do a lot of. Did it blow it away? Okay, and then oops. I just skimmed through them with my cursor. So all the commands are down here. Prompts. They keep changing this, but yeah, it's pretty cool. The thing, I've gotten used to Discord. I couldn't have never got, I had trouble getting on Discord. It was my 14-year-old son who helped me get on Discord. But now that I'm on it, I tend to use it all the time, just for Midjourney and talking to my son. The web interface, I don't use it really, except I do love browsing. Like, so here I'm browsing my history, and some of the stuff's like super cool. Like, so like, oh, here, let me exit. I can like search for like Monet, and the guys that did the UI are amazing. Those guys that, so I typed in Monet, and now it's going to filter all my prompts to Monet, and I'm going to go back in history. So I've been doing this for a year and a half, over 60,000 images, and I just dropped back 63 weeks ago in a few seconds. I mean, that's amazing.